The Hunter and the Ghost. In a small village nestled at the edge of a vast, dense forest, there lived a skilled hunter named Kwaku. He was known throughout the region for his sharp aim and unwavering courage. Kwaku was a tall, strong man with dark, weathered skin from years of hunting under the sun. His deep-set eyes, always watchful, held the stories of countless encounters with the wild. Despite his prowess, there was a melancholy that lingered in his heart, a sadness that never seemed to leave him. Kwaku's beloved wife, Oma, had passed away unexpectedly a year before. She had been the light of his life, her laughter echoing in their small home, her smile a balm for his weary soul. Without her, Kwaku felt adrift, lost in a world that seemed colder and less forgiving. He continued to hunt, for it was the only way he knew to keep moving, to stave off the grief that threatened to overwhelm him. One day, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, Kwaku decided to venture deeper into the forest than he had ever gone before. The villagers often spoke of this part of the woods in hushed tones, warning of spirits and strange happenings that befell those who dared to enter. But Kwaku, burdened by his sorrow, was unafraid of what lay ahead. Perhaps, he thought, in the silence of the deep forest, he could find some peace, or at least distraction from his unrelenting grief. The forest was dense and dark, the towering trees blotting out the last rays of the sun. As Kwaku moved deeper, the air grew thick with mist, and an eerie silence settled around him. The usual sounds of the forest, chirping crickets, rustling leaves, were absent, replaced by a strange stillness that made Kwaku's skin prickle. Kwaku decided to rest beneath a large baobab tree. He heard a faint sound, like a whisper carried on the wind. At first, Kwaku, why have you come here? As the voice was closer, Kwaku's heart raced. He gripped his bow tightly, ready for anything, but nothing could have prepared him for what he saw next. A figure, ghostly and translucent. The figure was a woman, her face obscured by the shadows, but there was something about her that felt familiar. Who are you? Kwaku demanded, trying to keep his voice steady. The figure floated closer, and as she did, the mist parted, revealing her face. Kwaku's breath caught in his throat as he recognized her, Oma. His beloved Oma, as beautiful and radiant as she had been in life, but now her form was ethereal, glowing faintly in the darkness. Oma, is it really you? Kwaku whispered, his voice trembling with emotion. Yes, my love, she replied, her voice like a soft breeze. I have been waiting for you. Kwaku dropped his bow, his hands shaking. He reached out to touch her, but his hand passed through her form, causing her image to waver slightly. You're a ghost, he said, his heart breaking all over again. I am, Oma confirmed, her eyes filled with sadness. But I am not here to haunt you, Kwaku. I am here to warn you. Warn me. About what? There is a great danger in this forest, Oma explained. A curse that has claimed many lives. You must leave this place before it's too late. Kwaku shook his head. I don't care about any curse. I lost you, Oma. Nothing else matters to me. You must care, Kwaku. You are still alive, and you must protect yourself. The curse in this forest is powerful, but it is not unstoppable. What is this curse? How can I stop it? The curse is tied to a powerful spirit that dwells deep within the forest. It feeds on sorrow and despair, growing stronger with each life it takes. You must confront this spirit and break the curse, but you must do so with caution. It knows your pain, Kwaku. It will use it against you. Kwaku clenched his fist, determination replacing his grief. Tell me where to find this spirit. Oma looked at him with a mixture of love and sorrow. Follow the river until you reach the clearing where the ancient tree stands. There, you will find the spirit. But Kwaku, you must remember, do not let your sorrow consume you. It will try to deceive you, to draw you into its darkness. You must stay strong. Kwaku nodded, his resolve firm. I will do whatever it takes, Oma. For you. Oma smiled sadly, her form beginning to fade. I believe in you, Kwaku. Remember, I will always be with you, watching over you. Be careful, my love. The river Oma had mentioned was not far, and he followed it as it wound through the forest, the water glistening under the pale light of the moon. After what felt like hours, Kwaku reached the clearing. In the center stood an ancient tree. He could feel the presence of the spirit, watching him, waiting for him to make the first move. Kwaku approached the tree cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. As he drew nearer, a figure emerged from the shadows, taking the form of a tall. The spirit's face was stern, almost regal, but there was a darkness in its gaze that sent a chill down Kwaku's spine. You seek to break the curse, the spirit asked, its voice deep and resonant. I do, Kwaku replied, standing tall despite his fear. I have come to end the suffering you have caused. The spirit chuckled, you are brave, hunter, but bravery alone will not save you. This curse was born from despair, and it thrives on the sorrow of those who wander into this forest. What makes you think you can defeat it? Kwaku's mind flashed back to Oma's warning. He could feel the spirit probing his thoughts, searching for the sorrow that still lingered in his heart. He knew that if he gave in to that despair, the spirit would consume him. I have known sorrow, Kwaku said, his voice steady. But I will not let it control me. I have lost someone dear to me, but I carry her memory with me, and that gives me strength. The spirit's eyes narrowed, and the air around them seemed to grow colder. Strength or weakness? Grief is a heavy burden, hunter. It can break even the strongest of men. But it won't break me, Kwaku replied, his voice firm. I have faced my sorrow and I have come out stronger. I will not let you take that from me. The spirit glared at Kwaku, its form shifting and growing darker. You think you can defy me? The spirit roared, its voice now filled with rage. You are nothing but a mortal, a speck of dust in the wind. Kwaku didn't flinch. He knew this was the spirit's final attempt to break him, to draw him into its darkness. But he also knew that he had something the spirit could never take from him, love. I am more than just a mortal, Kwaku said, his voice rising above the spirit's roar. I am a husband who loved and was loved. And that love is stronger than any curse you can throw at me. With those words, Kwaku drew his knife, a simple blade that had been passed down through generations of his family. He held it high, the moonlight glinting off the blade, and with a swift, determined motion, he plunged it into the ground at the base of the ancient tree. For a moment, everything was still. Then, a blinding light erupted from the earth, engulfing the tree and the spirit in a brilliant glow. The spirit let out a final, anguished scream as it was consumed by the light, its form disintegrating into nothingness. When the light faded, the clearing was silent once more. The ancient tree stood tall, its branches now filled with new, vibrant leaves. The air was calm, and the oppressive weight that had hung over the forest was gone. He felt a gentle breeze brush against his cheek, and in it, he heard Omo's voice, soft and comforting. "I knew you could do it, my love." Kwaku smiled, tears of relief and joy streaming down his face. "Thank you, Oma. Thank you for guiding me." With the curse broken, Kwaku returned to the village, his heart lighter than it had been in a long time. The villagers welcomed him back as a hero, but Kwaku knew that the true victory had been finding peace within himself. Though Oma was gone, her memory lived on in Kwaku's heart, a source of strength that would never fade. And in that, he found the courage to face whatever challenges life might bring, knowing that love was a power far greater than any curse.